Right, so we're looking at measuring bearings. First of all, we'll do a quick recap of bearings. There's 3 important facts about bearings that need to come to mind as soon as you hear the word bearings. So first of all bearings are measured from north. So measured from north. We normally represent this on a page with a line straight up with an N. Okay, a lot of the time they give that to you in an exam question. Normally it's going straight up the page. It'd be unusual for it to head in a different direction, but if it is going in a different direction, then you need to make sure you're aware of the other points of a compass. So never eat shredded wheat. That's how I was taught to remember it. So we always measure from north. The second point is the direction. So we're talking about angles here. It's always going to be in a clockwise direction. So in a clockwise direction. I always do a quick arrow around like this just to remind myself of that direction. Part 3, and this is to help identify an angle as a bearing. It always must have hundreds, tens, and units digits. So it's always going to be 3 digits. Okay, so it's going to be something, something, something degrees. Right then, so let's have a look at measuring bearings. We've got 2 questions here, and for both of them we're measuring the bearing of B from A. Okay, so we're going from A, that's important. If we look at our last video, from A is important. That means we're starting at A and we're heading towards B. So let's have a look at this one first. The very first thing you want to do whenever we're talking about measuring or drawing or bearings in general, you need to have a line in the north direction. Okay, so north is going to be straight up the page. We're going to add that line on, put an arrow and an N to show that is north. Okay, now we need to show the direction of B from A, so we're going to draw that line that connects A and B together, like so. Okay, now the bearing has to start from north, has to go clockwise, so this is how we work out what angle we're going to measure. From north in a clockwise direction goes this way. Okay, so now we're going to get our protractor, put our cross where that A is, put our 0 upon the north line, and then once we've got that, we're going to read off, starting from 0 around this outside, we get to 60, so that means this is a bearing of 60. Now if you remember, the third thing was that it always has to have 3 digits, so we're going to have to put a 0 in front of that so that it reads as a bearing. Okay, that's the first example. Next example, again, we're going to do our bearing of B from A. So we're going to start at A and go towards B. First thing we're going to do is draw on our north line. So let's do that first, best as we can. Draw a line straight up and then write north on it. Then we're going to do a line connecting A and B together. Oops, try and make it as straight as possible. Right, now we have a bit of a problem. We want to measure clockwise from north, so we want to have this angle. Now our protractor doesn't go high enough to measure that whole angle. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure this angle and then subtract it away from 360. Okay, because this angle, add this little angle, has to give you 360. So let's measure the obtuse angle, heading from north. So 0 is on this side. So it is just a little bit over 110. Let's have a look here, 111. I'm going to say that's 112. Okay, so if that angle in there is 112, this angle here has to be 360. Take away 112. So that would be 5 and 8, 4, 2. That gives us a bearing of 248 degrees. Okay. That's important that you make it obvious that this is your answer, because we did a little bit of working out, but that is not a bearing. This one here is a bearing, okay? So you'd make sure that's really obvious that is your answer.